Namaskara, welcome. I'm going to introduce a 7th century Chinese monk to you, who is the translator of the Chinese version of the Mulasarvastivada Vinaya that we are reading now. Firstly, I'm going to illustrate Yijing's journey to India. Then we will focus on a primary source written by Yijing to have a general sense of how Sanskrit was learned by that time. In the beginning, I'd like to show a big picture of Chinese pilgrimages. Indian and Central Asian monks transmitted Buddhist texts and practices from a considerably early time, while from the 3rd century onward, Chinese monks has been recorded to go on pilgrimages to India. There were two main types of routes regarding the transmission of Buddhism. The first type is the land route, also known as the Silk Route. The other is the sea route via Southeast Asia. We shall notice that there is no single direction of the transmission. That is to say, there are multiple Buddhist centers that have facilitated the transmission of Buddhism, as well as the multicultural interactions. Now, let's talk about Yijing's travel and his main contributions. I'd like to invite you to go on a virtual tour with Yijing. Yijing harbored his ambition of going on a pilgrimage to India when he learned Buddhism teaching in Chang'an, the capital of China during the Tang Dynasty. He wrote that, "My real hope and wish is to represent the Glitrakuta in the small rooms of my friends and to build a second Rajagliha city in the divine land of China." That is to say, he endeavored to rectify what he calls the errors in the applications of the original Buddhist principles in China. Passed by two commercial and cultural centers of China, Yangzhou and Guangzhou, which are also significant port cities, Yijing started off in 671 at the age of 34. He sailed for 20 days and stopped at a crucial Buddhist center, Srivijaya in Sumatra, Indonesia. The 7th century has witnessed the great expansion of Srivijaya throughout Sumatra, Malay Peninsula, Java, Cambodia. There were many people from all around Asia coming to Srivijaya to learn Buddhist teaching. Yijing spent 6 months here learning Sanskrit grammar and the Malay language. Then he passed by some strategic points of maritime Asia, such as Kedah and the Nicobar Islands. Finally, he arrived at the east coast of India, where he met a senior monk and spent 1 year studying Sanskrit with him. After that, Yijing pursued his study at Nalanda Mahavihara. Nalanda was a revered Buddhist monastery, which also served as a renowned center of learning. The University of Nalanda obtained significant fame, prestige, and relevance during ancient times, and rose to legendary status due to its contribution to the emergence of India as a great power. Yijing spent 10 years there from 675 to 685 CE. According to Yijing, Nalanda enjoyed royal patronage, and it was founded by the Gupta king Kumaragupta during the 5th century. Yijing has also visited many pilgrimage sites during his time in India. If you are interested in continuing the virtual trip with Yijing, please click the link in the handout and enjoy. I've provided great videos, images, and a brief introduction for each of the sites he has gone to. Yijing is a productive translator. He has translated about 61 Buddhist texts, including sutras, shastras, and vinayas, among which vinayas are of the most. Indeed, Yijing has concentrated most on the practice of monastic rules of Indian monasteries. Today, among the abundant works of Yijing, we are going to focus on chapter 34 of his work, a record of Buddhist practices sent home from the Southern Sea. Yijing said that generally there are 5 Vidyas. It is different from the commonly acknowledged 4 Vidyas of the Brahmanical tradition, and perhaps it is a Buddhist conception. The first of which is Shabda Vidya. Shabda means voice and Vidya means science. So it is about the grammatical science. Yijing mentioned 9 books on grammatical science. What are they? Let me introduce to you briefly. To begin with, Yijing introduced the Siddham, signifying be their success. This is a book for beginners. The Siddham is the Sanskrit syllabary, and Van Gulik, who studied on Siddham, wrote that all Indian scripts are based on Siddham. There are 49 letters of the alphabet, which are combined with one another and arranged in 18 sections. The total number of syllables is more than 10,000, or more than 300 shlokas. Generally speaking, each shloka contains 4 feet, padas, each foot consisting of 8 syllables. Each shloka has therefore 32 syllables. The second book Yijing introduced is the Sutra, which was said to be the foundation of all grammatical science. So, what exactly is this sutra? Yijing further told us that it contains 1,000 shlokas, and it is the work of Panini. Now we know that it is the well-known Ashtadhyayi of Panini. Following the sutra is the book on Dhatu, also known as Dhatupada, explaining each verbal root by adding its meaning, which could be considered as sort of an appendix of the sutra. It also consists of 1,000 shlokas. The fourth is the book on the 3 kilas. Yijing explicitly explained that kila means wasteland, so called because this part of grammar may be likened to the way in which a farmer prepares his fields for corn, each of the 3 pieces containing 1,000 shlokas. The first of the 3 pieces are the Ashtadhatu, teaching the soup, the 7 cases of none. Then the 10 las, that is the lakalas according to Panini, such as the lat, lan, laid, etc., devoting the 10 tenses of the verb, and the 18 tings, which refers to the personal terminations, the 3 purushas, 3 vachanas, and 2 padas. The second and third pieces are the Wencha, the Sanskrit equivalence is unknown, and the Unadi, both teaching how to combine verbal roots with suffixes to form nouns. And he gave the example of the tree Vriksha derived from the verbal root vli, to cover. Then here comes the Vliti Sutra, also known as the Kashika Vliti, a commentary on the Panini's Sutra. Yijing said the author of the book is Jayaditya, though scholars considered that the book is co-authored by Jayaditya with Vamana. It cites the text of the Panini Sutra and explains minutely its manifold meaning. It exposes the laws of the universe and the regulations of gods and men. It consists altogether of 18,000 shlokas. The Churni is a commentary on the Vliti Sutra containing 24,000 shlokas. Its author is Patanjali, and therefore we may call it in the more renowned name, the Mahapashya. This again cites the work of Panini explaining the obscure points and analyzing the principles contained in it, and it illustrates the Vliti Sutra clearing up difficulties. Following the Churni is the Bhartrihari Shastra, which is the commentary on the Churni by Bhartrihari. That is to say, it is the commentary on the commentary on the commentary on the commentary of the Panini Sutra. It contains 25,000 shlokas and fully treats the principle of human life as well as of grammatical science, and also relates the reasons of the rise and decline of many families. In addition, there is the Vakyapadiya containing 700 shlokas, and its commentary portion has 7,000 shlokas. This is also Bhartrihari's work, a treatise on the inference supported by the authority of the sacred teaching and on inductive arguments. Finally, the Pena has its shloka portion containing 3,000 shlokas, also composed by Bhartrihari, while the commentary portion is attributed to Dhammapala, containing 14,000 shlokas. This book fathoms the deep secrets of heaven and earth and treats of the philosophy of man. Yijing has also described the normal study procedure of Indian children, that the Siddham was learned at 6 and finished in 6 months, the Sutra was learned at 8 and learned in 8 months, the book on the 3 Kilas was learned at 10 and learned for 3 years, the Vliti Sutra is learned at 15 and finished after 5 years. Besides, advanced scholars learn Chuni in 3 years. And a person who has studied so far as Painter is said to have mastered grammatical science. Yijing has provided much more information as I summarized. For example, he has also introduced the study centers and the famous teachers during that time. The English translation of the chapter is available in the link on the handout. Besides, there are more researches on Yijing's records on Sanskrit study, such as John Bruce's fantastic paper, Yijing on the Sanskrit grammarians, also available through the link. Hope you find them interesting and enjoy reading it. In conclusion, before Yijing, no one has recorded Sanskrit study in such a systematic way. Due to the oral tradition of knowledge transmission in India, there lacks record that could function as solid evidence for South Asian history, and therefore the Chinese record plays a crucial role. Hence, the significance of Yijing's work to South Asian studies, Sanskrit studies, and Buddhist studies is that he provides the TAQ, which means the latest possible date. Nevertheless, the record should not be totally taken as the truth. For example, the date given for Bhartrihari in this text is wrong, and it described Bhartrihari as a Buddhist who apparently is not. Generally, Yijing's record literally facilitates us to historically approach Sanskrit. Thanks for watching, and this is the bibliography.